Welcome to another episode of the Social Agents Podcast. Today we got some special guests from Landsea Homes. I got Parker and Patrick. How's it going, guys?
It's going good.
Going great. Thanks.
You guys excited to be on?
Yeah. Pumped.
Yeah. Thank you for allowing us to come in. These beautiful models that we have here. We're in the Golden Peak 2 right now, right?
We are.
Is this one pretty popular?
Yes, for sure. I think the whole Golden Peak collection is probably the fan favorite right now. But yeah, we just hang out, pretend like it's our house.
Yeah, I know.
So we come to work.
We've come here and we've had like pizza with you guys before.
Yeah,
you guys were nice
absolutely.
enough to share with us. It was great. I was like, yeah, this is a good time here. Yeah. How do we apply? Right now,
Come on board. We got room.
So guys, really quick, we'll start off with Parker. Just 120 seconds introducing yourself, who you are, and what you do here at Landsea.
Yeah. So I am Parker Duarte, sales manager with Landsea Homes, Southern California. So I work directly with Patrick here. We have a sales team of probably about, what are we at? 9?
Yeah, 9 or 10.
9 or 10. We really cover, mostly Southern California, Orange County, Inland Empire. I'm specifically in charge of really our Inland Empire team, so the Ontario Ranch Market and Fontana here. Really, my job is to help the sales team, to guide them through everything that comes up in a new home project. Building, selling, designing, all those things is what we're part of. And so really just helping the sales team help their customers. So
Yeah. And so when you meet by a sales team, it's like you have multiple sales agents within those teams.
correct. Yeah. So we have 9 across the board, but here, for example, at Narra Hills, we have 4 that we that I manage, and they're all in the sales office. They're all working to sell this community here, and a lot goes into that.
That's awesome, man. And to be your age and where you're at right now is pretty impressive. We'll get a little bit more into that. So Patrick, a quick introduction, man.
All right. Patrick Higgins, Vice President of Sales and Marketing for Landsea. Have the opportunity to work with great people like Parker, and Parker in a different stage of his career. My role, get involved in a lot of acquisition side work, as the team's going out looking for new land to build product on. So do that from a marketing side, and then just kind of oversee the overall sales and marketing aspect of it, kind of what are we doing to brand Landsea, brand each community, and, again, with Parker, do a lot of sales training with the team to, bring them up to speed to provide the best experience we can for the home buyer.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. So talk about experience, right? Like we're driving up to Narra Hills. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Like you come up and you're like, all right, like I can see myself living here. We know it's gated. We know the amenities are going to be great. But why would somebody choose Landsea over another builder down the street? Like what separates Landsea from other builders?
Yeah.
It's a great question. And, I mean, literally,
It's a loaded question.
It's a loaded question. That's one of the things that we look at is how do we differentiate ourselves?
Yeah.
It is from the design of the product, right? It's also the land plan that we look at from the very beginning. How do we create something that's completely unique and different in the market? And I think, most builders, all builders strive to do that. I think we do a really good job of that. And we make it personal about if we were raising a family, what are we looking for, depending upon the stage of life that we're in, and what are we building for? So we take a lot of care in doing that. We also we partner with what we feel are industry best individuals from an architect standpoint, a landscape architect, our designers, our lender, everything. So we try to surround ourselves with people that also have a heart and a passion for what they do. And as we have done that, and that's our team, it comes out in the product. And not only in the product, but also in the feeling and the experience that people have, exactly as you described it, as you're driving up. Why is this different? Sometimes you can't put your finger on it.
Yeah.
But that's what we do. And the team that we work with at Landsea, that's what they do. They're good at that. And they care.
Yeah, I love that because even driving up, on one of those like opening days that you guys had. It was insane.
It's like Disneyland, huh?
Yeah, I was like, my gosh, we can't get any content here today.
Yeah. And I think, that's what's unique about Landsea, especially in our market in Southern California, is we don't build everywhere. You aren't going to find Landsea, in every city.
Yeah.
But what we do, and it's kind of neat because we see the whole process is, when we come onto the scene, this is just dirt, right? And we have to make it into this. And there's so many people, you can't even count how many people actually go into the work before we even get a model into the ground. And to see it come to life is I want to say a miracle.
Yeah, right.
It comes off that way. But when people get here, you have to bring life to it. And we do that through homeowners, getting, when we sell a home and those people finally get to move in. But half of it's also the people who are on the scene every day, and our sales team, and being here on site and building that lifestyle that will eventually be in the neighborhood.
Yeah, that's crazy to think about, right?
And as people who talk to the consumer every day, I think like our best videos ever have been Narra Hills and the look of these homes, because they're so unique.
Yeah.
And even at the Ontario Ranch community, Landsea, the look of Landsea, you can tell if it's a Landsea home. I'll even be looking on the market at resale homes, and I'll be like, that's a Landsea home.
Yeah.
This is built a couple years ago, and you have that uniqueness and you have that look to it where it is unique and it has a different feeling, and the community does have a different feeling. And when we talk to these buyers, and these families who are looking to move here, looking at, hey, like, where should we go? Narra Hills always comes up, and it's something that buyers just gravitate to.
Yeah.
And they love the look of these homes. They love the feel of this community. And even like this model street right here, I was like, I would love to live on a street that looks like this.
Yeah.
Like this is like out of a movie.
Yeah.
The street here, like it just looks like one of those neighborhood shots in a movie. And like you guys create that every single day. And that's what these families are looking for.
Yeah. It's that drive, you're coming home from work and you get this, you blown away really every time you
I made it.
come. Yeah.
Yeah, I've arrived.
Kind of
I've
puff
arrived.
up your chest
Yeah,
a little
right.
bit. Yeah. And Landsea, it's just contemporary. It's here in the Fontana market, you aren't going to see anything like it. Some people love it, some people hate it. Most people love it, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
But it's cool. It's just a cool place to be.
Yeah, and it's not like all the cookie cutter houses that you look at, right?
Yeah.
Like you think of that, and it's like, no, it's different up here.
Yeah.
Right. And what I love about Narra Hills too is that there's like a home for everybody. Right. We got the Clementine, we got the Strata, Wildstar, Golden Peak, Skyline. Like we have a home for literally everybody out here. Yeah. Now we know there's a lot of factors that go into that, and not everyone can afford a home out here. But what else? Besides the style, besides all that, like what else separates the builder itself from, let's say, a KB down the street?
Yeah. Can we take that one?
You go for it.
No, I think so. Yeah, Landsea, of course, our style, the way we do things, but really, what separates us is just the type of home you get. So. Our architecture is one thing. It's great. It makes the community beautiful. But when you're inside the house, Landsea specifically, we pride ourselves. We call it live in your element. So it's really kind of finding who our buyers are and what they're looking for and how they're living in 2024. It's a lot different than how we used to build. So that's energy efficiency. That's being water wise, making sure that all of your plants and everything, like you're not using all that water, you're keeping your bills low. And so Landsea, basically we have 4 pillars that we kind of pride ourselves on. And it's when you walk into a Landsea home, everything's automated. So everything from light switches to your front door, to your garage remote, to lighting, everything can be controlled from an iPad or iPhone. And it's just kind of neat because you're sitting in your bed, you could shut off the whole place. It's all integrated into the house. So I think, other builders, they have bits and pieces of it. Landsea has really taken their whole house, all of their communities that they build, and say, how can we just make this a standard feature for every homeowner? You know, the younger generation is completely mobile, and it's important to them. And it's something that you're not going to get in a resale house, and it's not something that you'll get with every builder.
Yeah, because I'm even seeing that you guys are putting a little bit more yard into these homes as well, which for a long time, like we're getting like a little slab, like 4 feet, you know. And even the Strata, even the Clementine, I felt like you go back there and people can hang out. I think people want to go back to having some little space, right? Now we look at Skyline and Golden Peak, and they have huge yards.
Huge, yeah.
Yeah, so that's really nice, man.
Yeah, too much. No.
Too much space.
Like, what are you going to do with all this?
Yeah, even the like the community areas.
Yeah.
When we were over at the Ontario Ranch community, and we were getting shown around, we were by the pool in the clubhouse area. I was like, this is nice. I would actually come and hang out here, because most of the time you get this little rinky-dink like patio area, and you don't want to go there. It feels dirty. You just don't want to spend time there. But like out here in Ontario, where that community was, like you would actually want to spend time here. And I imagine Narra Hills is going to look.
I can't wait to see
I can't
it.
wait to see what that looks like.
Yeah,
It's going to be blow away.
Yeah.
It is a resort style level amenity. That's one of the things that we do too. And I think, the question is, how do we relate to other builders? One thing that home building is, it's an art. I mean, it literally is an art. It's one of the last items that you're going to buy large scale that's built by hand. And literally, I mean, you think about all the workers that are putting this together. It's crazy. And I have a lot of respect for every single builder and what they do.
Yeah.
It's an art, and thank goodness. I mean, it's the American dream, and we still have people building the American dream by hand, and it's cool. So love it. What sets us apart? Exactly what Parker said, and I think we just, we really have a passion for what we do, and it's the old adage, you don't work a day in your life when you love what you do. We don't go to work, man. We love what we do, and it's hard to, the wives are saying, "Hey, come home. Hey, we're having fun. We're playing. We're sitting with you guys. This is awesome, right? We get to talk about that, and then that transitions into the amenity, and how we build communities, and we build communities based upon lifestyle, because at the end of the day, you're going to live in that home, but it's going to be the relationships you make with the people next door to you, whether it's your neighbor or at the pool, playing shuffleboard or, whatever it is. And that's what it's all about. And we try to create that environment. Like here, we have 5 neighborhoods in Narra, 5 communities, well segmented. And that amenity, you're going to find, I think, when it opens, people are going to be gravitating toward that. I mean, there's going to be a lifestyle director. There are going to be things going on all the time over there that it could be an art class for the young children.
That's nice.
Right? It could be a swim class for the little guys and gals. So
that's super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, what is that going to look like over there? I'm like really intrigued.
So yeah, we just got not too long ago. We did kind of like a virtual, like 3D, version of that. It's actually in the sales office. It is going to be contemporary resort style. It's actually 3 separate buildings that we have that are connected by breezeways. So it's just kind of this indoor-outdoor mix. Exercise room that overlooks, the mountain range here. The main hub, the recreation center, is going to overlook pools and cabanas, and it's going to be neat. It's going to be kind of more of this indoor-outdoor feel, though.
Nice.
You're going to come over. We're going to invite you guys over. We'll come over, have a little
Yeah.
party,
Stay.
Get a
we'll have a
kickoff.
party.
We'll kick it off.
Yeah, I would love to.
That'd be great.
We're going to want to get some video in there.
Oh, yeah.
Come do it. Yeah, we'll need the video.
We'll do some swimming, diving in. Parker.
diving.
Oh, yeah.
We could do that.
Yeah, I'm gonna wear my one piece still. All right, so I don't want to scare
No
any.
Speedo.
No Speedos.
No
I wear
Speedo.
my one full piece that I have.
All right, we'll do it.
Yeah, you get some people quitting after that.
They're like, this isn't so much of an amenity. Is it?
Yeah, we're supposed to have a good time here, guys.
Who's the HOA president here? We need to file
Who let
something.
this guy
Needs to be
in?
arrested. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny. Patrick, you had talked a little bit about like the acquisition process, and I'm really curious how this community came to be, because Fontana is out in the middle of nowhere, like Fontucky. Who wants to go there? And it would, at least what I would have thought is, who would have put a luxury resort style community here? What was it like the beginning and the planning and the acquisition of this land here? How did that come about?
That's a great question too. You know, who would have thought that? Who wouldn't have thought that? Is the question. Why not? And it was, look at the location of this site, right? It has topography. It's up against the hillside. It's not just flat. And, you know, and I think Fontana was yearning for this product. And we thought it was. And it's kind of coming to be true because of the, you know, the popularity and people like, wow, well, why not Fontana? And so that was the original premise. And you have this unique property. How do we take advantage of it? And how do we do what we do and build out there? You guys, you should have sat through the design process. We call it segmenting the different products. It was insane. It was, you know, and you think about starting with Clementine and ending with Golden Peak and everything in between. And I mean, it was weeks and months on end with architects, and we have separate architects. So this isn't one architect that has designed all of our product. We brought them in, and it was almost like a competition, and you know, leaning on one another, saying, "Hey, well, if they're doing that, I'm going to do this." And we did that with architects, and we also did it with designers. So we don't have one designer that did all 5 product lines. We have several designers that came in, and you know, they kind of want to one-up one another. It's kind of a nice, friendly competition. And what ends up happening when you've got competition, you know, you get a better product. And I think that really shows through with that. And I think the question was not why, but why not? And you know, and then putting them behind gates, to me, even makes it more special.
Love that.
Right?
Yeah. And building, they will come.
Yeah. Right.
And you brought up a good point. It's like this is a luxury community. It doesn't matter if you're in the $500,000 range or the over $1 million range. You're in the same neighborhood. You get to hang out with the same people, and it's all walks of life. And I think we do it really well here at Landsea, but able to bring everybody from, maybe it's a couple starting their career, maybe they're retiring, and they're in the same community, and they get to do that. And it's a luxury community, if you know, and it's kind of a unique experience that you don't get everywhere. And you know, I'm sure you guys saw a lot here in Fontana. When you go into a community, it's pretty much, you know, everybody's got the same thing. Here, it's not that way. You know, parents and their kids could live right next to each other, really.
Yeah, I love that. Cool. You get doctors to everything around here. Yeah, we just helped a doctor down the street. I think they bought a Skyline one. Yeah. So that's awesome. That's awesome. Good, Justin?
Yeah. No, and then, you know, talking about like future communities, what does that planning process look like? You know, as analyzing areas or cities or location, and what are we going to build here? Is this going to be homes or condos or town? How does all that come together to create what we have here?
Let me take it?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, Parker mentioned earlier, we don't build in every city, and we don't build in every master plan community. That's not who we are. It's, you know, our acquisition team, they're looking at, I mean, dozens and dozens of opportunities all the time, and it's which one really makes most sense for us and for our brand. So it's kind of a hard question to answer because we've got some, we can't talk about it. Yeah. But we've got some super cool new acquisitions coming up, and they're different than what we've done before. Some are similar, some are different. Trying to address, you know, we do a lot of infill. This is not an infill piece. We do some other locations are infill, where we, you know, go in and you take down a shopping center, something like that, and put up new homes. And those are cool because when you go into a city where the housing stock is, you guys do it all the time, 60, 80 years old, people want new. Yeah. And they want new, and where do they have to drive to get new? Well, they might have to drive to Fontana. Well, if you can put new back in a city where everything around it is old, you know, 60, 80-year-old single-story homes on large lots that are underutilized, you know, we go into those places and develop the property, develop the land, and put something pretty cool and modern.
That's interesting.
So it's kind of fun. Yeah, I mean, That's a different aspect of what we do.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun for us.
Yeah, I mean, you got to make sure. I mean, right now it's hard to lose, right? When like you when you're doing the product that you guys are doing, it's great, right? So it's just really about finding the right location and just making sense of it. Really good. Well, kind of shifting gears a little bit, Parker. I know we talked about it earlier. You take charge of like the sales part. You do all that. How did you get in your position, man? I mean, you look really young. You know, you got. I feel like you got the look. You got the energy, man. How did you get where you're at right now?
I begged this guy for months.
I love it. I love it.
No, so I started off on the sales floor when I was 23, 31 now. So I've had some time in being on the sales floor, opening up communities. We kind of like to give everybody the experience of opening a community, closing a community, being right in the middle where you don't have the excitement of either. So I had all those experiences, and back when the pandemic hit, had the opportunity to come to Landsea and opened up Shade Tree in Ontario. And Shade Tree just, how do you say it? It just boomed. It was 432 homes.
Wow.
And just really, really took off. I think we were out of there in about a year and a half.
Wow.
And to be honest, from my perspective, I had just felt like after that time, and it was coming to the end, that I wanted to grow, not only as a salesperson, but as a leader. No experience in really, I could lead my office, I could lead my teammates, but it wanted to really take that next step. And it just so happened, Patrick was coming into Landsea at the time, and what I do? Did I begged you to go have coffee or something?
Yeah. We did. We went and had coffee.
Maybe not begged, but I asked him to go have coffee.
Yeah.
And just let him know that I wanted to grow. I wanted to take kind of that next step in my career. And what I know now is it's 100 times different than being an actual salesperson.
Yeah.
You're managing people, and it's a whole different dynamic. Instead of customers coming through the door and trying to sell them a home, you're trying to lead a team, and it's a responsibility. Luckily Patrick saw something in me. I don't know what that could have been, but he saw something and gave me that opportunity, and started as a sales manager. So I was able to be on the floor still while dipping my feet into to being in management. That's probably the hardest job I've had so far. And then this last year, being able to actually go full force into leading our team, and really for me, I've just been really lucky to have people in this industry that have given me opportunity.
Yeah.
And Patrick being the main force of that, really allowing me to grow and most importantly fail, which I think I know I do every day.
We all do.
And fail, and to learn from that, and to become a better leader, so that one day I can take on a greater role. So
Good.
it's been a cool journey, and you meet tons of people doing different things, and you get different aspects of home building that you didn't even know existed, and it's really cool. It's really cool experience to be where I'm sitting and see everything going on, just to get the community up and going.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
And Patrick, he kept looking over, saying that he's seen something in him. What did you see, man?
What did I see in Parker? One thing Parker, I think Parker was leading before given the title and given the opportunity. Everything he did exhibited leadership skills. How he carried himself, how he treated others, how the bar he set for himself, right? What his expectations were of himself.
Yeah.
That was he was leading on the team, and frankly, it's a leader, someone that show me someone who's walking along and others are following without the title. That was Parker. People would call Parker for advice, for guidance and all of those things, and so Parker's an easy choice.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's got it all. and humble.
Yeah.
Very,
Gonna
very
make
humble.
me cry.
Yeah.
Yeah, and and the one thing that my biggest fear is that you don't have an opportunity for somebody that has that ability, and fortunately, we didn't have the opportunity, but we created it for him.
Good.
And selling sales manager for a year, and yeah, like I said, dip his toe in it. He jumped in and realized that it's a completely different role that you're in, leading people, not managing them. You don't want to manage anybody. You want to lead them, right? Mm-hmm. Leading people, and then some are going to follow, and some aren't. And some are with you, and some are not. So it's been a really neat experience watching Parker grow, and sky's the limit.
Yeah.
Taking the opportunity, man.
I know. Well, yeah, it's you didn't really tell me too much going into it, but I'm like, hey, make me a manager. Let's do it. He's like, okay, you're going to be selling sales manager. I'm like, I don't know. It doesn't really have a ring to it.
But you're going to take about the horns, man.
Yeah, just be selling sales manager. And that's the other thing is you got to find somebody who you can trust in this business to help lead you. And I found that in Patrick, and I trust his opinion. I trust that he has, my best interest in growing my career. And it's been a really good partnership to learn and to just kind of not get too comfortable.
Yeah.
And but to learn because there's a lot of it.
What I can see too between the two is like he has a trust in you, and then he also believes that you have one, your career, but two, you have the best interest in what Landsea is doing here.
Yeah.
Right. And you give it your all. You continue to do that, and you're never going to lose that way. Like I always tell these guys on our team, and kind of in a similar position now where I'm just leading, not doing too many of the sales myself. And I tell them, like, we're never going to let you go because of lack of production. Mm-hmm. We're going to let you go if you're not doing what needs to be done. Mm-hmm. Right. So somebody in your position that's just like, hey, give me an opportunity somewhere.
Yeah.
Right. And I may not like it. I may not know what it looks like, but I know it's going to take me somewhere.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of people right now are missing that.
Yeah. And it's culture too. Landsea has this culture where you kind of get to have that entrepreneurial spirit, and not everywhere is like that. But I get to come to work every day and be who I am, and it's rewarded. And I get to try new things out. We get to do this. We get to fly drones around the community. We get to try different things with the salespeople, and they trust you to grow their business. So you become invested in it. You want to see the good. You want to make Landsea good. You want it to grow, and that's what's really cool about our culture here. So, specifically here in our division, but. You're needed. There's a place for you, and just go make it happen.
I love that.
Yeah.
Patrick, I love what you said about look who people are following without even the title. And that's such a good leadership principle, because you see people who all they have is the title, but they don't have the people's respect. They don't have they don't look up to them. They're not leading people, and they're just like a manager, like you said. But those people who have that ability and recognizing it before even the title, and then great on you for recognizing that, for being able to spot that. Because then there's a lot of leaders who see somebody underneath them coming up, and they want to quench that, and they want to put that down because they feel threatened or they feel something. But you don't find a lot of times where you have the environment, like you're talking about, Parker, to be able to thrive.
Yeah.
And what you guys have been able to create is awesome.
Parker, really quick, man. I know we kind of looked into your LinkedIn. You got Rookie of the Year. Mm-hmm. You start off at 23. That's how old Justin is right now. Justin's killing it. He has 11,
probably doing better than all.
11 open escrows right now, as part of the team,
yeah.
And he's killing it. So, kind of looking back at when you got Rookie of the Year and you just started out, like how did that come about? Like how were you able to accomplish that at such a young age?
Yeah. So when I came into new home sales, I had actually just come from property management. I had zero idea, what I was really doing. Had the opportunity right when I got in to have some good mentors during that time as well. in the home building industry, we have the Greater Sales and Marketing Council and all these different groups that really bring kind of the whole home building industry together. And it's kind of just a neat community of people. And so it's with a lot of builders, Southern California, and what they do is at the end of each year they have a event where they nominate all sorts of people and communities. So best community of the year, sales manager of the year, rookie of the year. And it was really just, I had good people who, once again, I've just been a product of having the right people around me who believed in me. But for rookie of the year, I was nominated. You had to go in and do an interview. And I think really what it was is just, I'm passionate about home building. And I know that sounds a little cheesy, but it's been really in my blood since I was young. This is where I feel at home. And I think that, when I was a salesperson, that came through. Like, I wanted people to fill our communities. I wanted to have that relationship with them and have them meet their neighbors. And ultimately, I think, winning that Rookie of the Year award was really just kind of all that coming together at the right time and having good people around me, being passionate about what I was doing and, wanting to grow. And then later on, like this year, I was fortunate enough to win Sales Manager of the Year at the same
Congrats,
thing.
man.
And that is truly just the product of really Landsea, but also Patrick. Having him really push me over the last few years, and having him really just be that supportive person in my career, and having that ally to make me better. And no way do I feel perfect, and I'm still learning. I think. Do you feel like you're still learning?
Oh yeah, every day. Yeah.
I don't think that will ever stop. But it's just good to have that recognition to kind of say that you're headed in the right direction.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah,
Man, that's great to get that. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
That's huge, and I would have never known unless we asked. And that just shows how humble you are, man.
Yeah.
So that's great. And then just love the fact that you get to do what you love to do every single day.
Yeah.
Right. It's like I was telling Justin I think like 2 days ago, I was like, man, like people wake up and then it's like Monday or something. They're like really upset and they're like, man, I got to go clock in. And it's like, I get to wake up and create video for a living for us, right? Like that's what we do.
Just hanging out.
Yeah, like this. Yesterday, went to like 4 different communities making video, and then I go home and I'm like, I'm kind of tired, but it was a good day.
Yeah.
But I know Justin had some questions for Patrick, man.
Yeah, I mean, you said you've been in the industry for a couple decades now. So I mean, talk about like we were talking about in the beginning, your experience, your wisdom, your knowledge. How have you been able to stay at that level and excel and develop these different communities and develop leaders underneath you, like Parker? Like, talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, the one thing about Parker is, and I think with anybody, when you have somebody that has skills, right? The skill, the passion, the drive, the integrity, my whole thing, and literally my entire career, I look back and I've been fortunate to surround myself with really, great people that have ability far beyond what they realize they have. And respectfully to Parker, Parker's got so much more in his tank than he realizes. It's just how do you draw it out? How do you challenge him, put him or her in the right position so that that they can realize, God's gift, right? What they've got in them. And I don't have a lot of skill. I don't have a lot of skills in many areas. One thing that I'm blessed with is talent is one of those things that I see, and I see it in people, and I've done that my entire career. That's what's given me the opportunity to be in the roles that I have been in, grow throughout my career, and it's all about people. Bottom line, unfortunately, we all haven't had those people in our lives, And when we have, you can remember them. You can call them out by name. You know the exact day and time that you had that experience with them, and that's what's, unfortunately that's what's missing a lot, and I try to remember that every day, build people up. We're in the building industry, right?
That's it.
I want to build them up. I'm not going to tear them down, and getting the right people around you. So yeah, we build homes for our career. That's what we're doing, but we're really building people, their families, their lifestyle, right? And try to just pay it forward, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So that's your superpower.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't have many.
I love
That's
it.
probably the only one, but yeah.
I love it.
It's the only one I want. Yeah.
And I'm glad you brought it up. Family, right? So this career, it's demanding.
Yeah.
We're gone a lot. We're out having probably too much fun. But, the one thing that Patrick has put and reminded me about, and thank God, more than anything, is family. Remember your family. Go home to your family. He's probably pushing me out the door more than anybody to get on home. And that's an important part of your life. And not everybody that you get to work for thinks that way.
Yeah.
To have that balance, to have that, just pride. And I know he has pride in his family and loves to get home to his family. And he encourages that for me too. And that's something that I'm super grateful for, is just, sometimes we work hard, but we got to go home and love hard too. So.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's always telling me to go home all the time.
Yeah.
He's like,
Get
all right,
outta here.
go home with your wife and kids already. I'm like, I'm trying, but I really I can find something else to do right now.
Yeah.
There's a lot to do.
Yeah. All the time. That's never going to stop. Right.
Yeah.
So, man, I had a question that came to mind before I started talking about my family. For Patrick, I know we kind of talked a little bit about superpower, going home. Yes, I got it now. So when you see somebody, right, that's like, man, I see they could be a great leader, they have great potential, but they don't maybe see it in themselves. Like, how do you help them realize that? How do you encourage them? Like, what are you doing to kind of shape and mold them into that?
It's a good one, by the way.
Yeah. I think it's getting to know who they really are. It's taking the time not to stay on the surface, but, help try to get the mask off, right? We all wear a mask.
Yeah.
And it's, get the mask off, peel back the onion, find out who they really are, what makes them tick. And when there's authenticity there, right? There's a strong moral compass. And maybe they haven't had that encouragement throughout their life. Maybe they've haven't had those opportunities that others have been blessed with, right? And I think you get to know them, and you got to build everything on trust, and that doesn't come right away.
Yeah.
So you do that, and then you start giving them opportunities and challenging them, and telling them that you believe in them and that they've got it. But you don't push them out the door and say, okay, now you're on your own. You got to stay close, and you also have to have. I like to have adult to adult conversations.
Yeah.
Like to have I like to have tough conversations. I don't avoid conflict. I'm okay with conflict, and I think in that it's like having a best friend. That, man, I want my best friend to tell me what I'm doing wrong, and not necessarily pat me on the back, but make sure that I'm headed in the right direction. When you that's not a simple thing to do, right? That's a long-term, hopefully lifelong relationship that you have. Mm-hmm. And when you build it on, you build the foundation on solid ground, we're in good shape. And then just know that, hey, we've got each other's back, and move forward.
That's crazy. That something so little as like just believing in somebody, right, that can change.
It's huge.
Yeah, it's huge, right? Because
Huge.
We don't know how people grow up.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know what kind of background they have, right? So like I remember growing up for myself, I didn't like grow up with my dad. He wasn't around, right? So I seen other like dads telling their kids during sports, like, you could do it. And I would look, and it's just my mom,
Mm-hmm.
And so just having somebody like that, and I feel like I try to give that to everybody. But I'm not as good as like the conflict part. I'm really bad with that right now. I got to work on that. Like just yeah, I might have to go. We have a conversation after, and just like just do this, right? But for me, it's like I want to believe in everybody. Yeah. But I do feel like a lot of times people just don't believe in themselves, right? And it's just like, and that was a great answer you just gave. It's just helping them take that out. Like I used to coach high school football, right? And these kids, you know, were Hispanic pretty much throughout, and they're the kid. You could tell their moms always told them they were big kids and they were linemen, and they were like always told like, "Hey, don't hurt that person, don't hurt that person." So in their head, they're like, oh, "I don't want to push this person away," you know. And I had to like help them be like, "You're huge, you're big, run through them," right? And I had to help them over and over believe in that. So I would say that's your second superpower, man. Look at that.
Two.
Yeah, we got two
I came
now.
here with zero.
He's
and
got more-
I've got two.
More superpowers than you let on.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna tell my wife. She's
I
not gonna believe
know.
it.
We're gonna clip this and then send it to her and
Send
see.
it
Her.
on, yeah.
I love that.
Hey,
I
you know, if I could, just one of the
Yeah.
things is, you know, had a tough 23, right? So went through a lot of stuff personally with the family things, and but one thing that I'm taking from that is lean in, right? Lean into conflict, lean into whatever it is. You know, because when we have conflict, we would do what? We avoid it.
Yeah.
Right? We avoid
Oh, I'm
it.
good
Put
at
it
that.
away. It's going to go away, right? It's going to go. And lean into whatever. Lean into pain, right? Lean into conflict. Lean into love. You know, all of those things. So one thing I walked away from 23, and man, I kept telling myself that in the back of my mind, and well, I wanted to run. I wanted to run away from pain, and you know that type of thing. And it was just lean into it with the right heart, right? Not with a vengeance, but
I love that.
yeah.
That's really good.
That is really good. Now, I would love each of your perspective on this. You know, when it comes to leading teams and leading different personality types within that team, you know, maybe somebody's a go-getter and they're all ambitious and you don't really need to give them anything. Or there's somebody like Robert's saying, like you have to bring it out. How do you lead how do you lead people differently in the way that they need to be led? Do you have one style across the board? Like what does that look like with personality, with teams, with people?
Yeah. Ooh, this is a good one because me and Patrick, if you haven't, you might not be able to tell, but we actually are very different.
Yeah.
When it comes to leading, and it's great because I learn from him every day. But as you could imagine, and I'm sure you're going through it right now, everybody's so different. Everybody has a different background. Everybody has a different family. The way they talk to people is different. Their motivation levels are different. So how do you take a team and give them all the attention that they each need? Because they're all good, they each want something from you in some regard.
Yeah.
And this might be a little controversial, so no. There will be people who are good and they're doing the right things and they just know what to do. And I personally lean into those people more.
Yeah.
And a lot of times you'll hear like, okay, well, you go as a team. You got to take that person in the back and bring him forward, which is true.
Weakest link. Yeah.
You got to give them attention. But sometimes you can get a lot more out of a team when you're focusing on the people who are there doing the work, putting in the time, and really showing the effort to do good things.
Yep.
And that back half or that back one or whoever, you have to put work into them, but it's going to take all your time, all your energy, everything to prop them up if they're not willing, to strap up their boots and move along with the team as well.
Love that.
And so I think, as far as the way I lead or interact with my team is I want to be supportive. I want to do everything that I can to help everybody, and probably a little bit too much.
That's good though, man.
Probably a little bit too much. I like to jump in. But I really find a lot of joy in the people who really are diving in.
Yeah.
And are really there to make a difference. And I think so naturally I spend a lot of time focusing on more so those people.
Yeah. I think that's great.
Mine's not a lot different, frankly. And being a football coach, you know that, I mean, you're going to get more mileage on working on your superstar, right?
Yeah.
They're going to be the ones that are delivering.
Yeah.
And they're the easy ones to spend time with. They're the easy ones to love, right? And so we also don't want to leave anybody behind.
Of course.
Right. So I'm
Sometimes. No.
yeah. Well, okay.
I got a couple names on the list.
Yeah, exactly. But you got to spend time with the rainmakers. They're the ones making the rain, right? They're the ones making it rain. You can't leave the other ones behind, which, it's what comes first, chicken or the egg. You got to you got to find those right people, hire the right ones to begin with. Then you got everybody on the bus that wants to be on the bus, and it makes it easier.
Yeah.
But no, I'm with Parker. It's easy to spend time with your superstar, right?
And sometimes those superstars are made, they just don't show up to the scene one day and are a superstar. And, maybe they are in that back half of your sales team and they push through and they weren't always in that top spot. So, that's always cool to see, but they just got to have the drive for that.
Yeah. I'm curious also, like in that development of talent and attracting and retaining talent, right. Because if, like you said, Patrick, you didn't have a spot for him, but you made a spot for him because you saw that value. How do you retain those top people who are some of those rainmakers? Like, they're valuable to the organization. You don't want them to leave. So if they start to see maybe different opportunities or if they want to go a different direction, what do you do to retain that top talent after you've already either had it or developed it?
I mean, I'll just real quickly. I think it's culture. A couple things. Culture. At Landsea, we have it's a great culture. We're not overbearing. We're not system heavy. Those type of things. We cherish one another. Family time is important for everybody. So we've got a great culture. So how do we retain? People. You want people to love what they do. They want to go to work and be proud of what they do and who they work with, ultimately the eventual product. And we stay focused on that. And then that's kind of from a cultural standpoint. And then from a growth perspective, I'm not the future of Landsea. Parker is. And we have others on the team that are the future of Landsea. And we make it apparent, right? We make it known that, you're tomorrow's leader. And you're in the process of getting there. So I think for somebody that wants that career, some people are going to hopscotch around. They're going to jump to get to the next level. They're going to compromise something if they do that. Yeah. They'll compromise culture. And, on our team, I believe in paying people. We're not at the bottom. We're not in the middle. I think we're probably toward the top from a compensation standpoint. Because they work hard, we expect them to be great at what they do, and they're worth it, right?
Yeah. No, I love that. And kind of going back to like what you guys were talking about, building up the top people, like you said, getting on the right bus and all that. Like if you have a certain standard with your team, the people at the bottom, sometimes you don't even have to fire them. They're just gonna go on their own because they're like, I can't keep up with this. This is way too much. Because for us, I know at one point Justin was at the bottom, like not to throw him out there, but I came to him and I'm like, hey man, you're costing me some money right now, man. But I seen the effort, right? And I know he's talented. He's a lot smarter than I am, that's for sure. I just do the things like we talked about before, and somebody like Justin, he cost me $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 at one point.
How dare you?
But I can see it in him, you know. Yeah. I can see it, and now he's competing with Eddie, which you guys know, Eddie, and Eddie's our biggest closer, and now he's competing with him. But it's just seeing like, I know this kid has it, right? So that's crazy that you guys are able to do that in your everyday life.
Yeah. You have financial investment.
I do.
You made a financial investment, and there's intellectual and spirit, all those investments that we make in people, and that's a great example. It's paying off, right?
Yeah,
that's cool.
And I trust him.
Yeah,
and
Most
he's like my brother, right? Like I trust him. One day he can go, and that's gonna be okay. I'm gonna be okay with that. But for now, if anything were to go down, I know that this guy has my back, no matter what. So
That's cool.
And if you went, you'd still have to pay the $70,000 back.
It's called an IOU.
We ain't talking about that.
we can add it up one day or something. No, I'm kidding.
He's got a tally going.
Yeah, no. I just threw out a crazy number. It might have been 100, but whatever.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. It's
Probably a lot less than I owe
Yeah, he's
Patrick.
doing great. Okay, any more questions as far as the leadership
Yeah.
before we wrap up?
So I mean, Parker, you talked about the skills of being the salesperson, the skills of being the manager. I'm curious on what you were doing well as a salesperson that when you moved up is like, oh, like I gotta learn a whole new skill set right here. What was it like? Like what made you successful as that young salesperson? How were you able to stand out against a lot of older people and a lot of more experienced people in your industry? Coming from somebody who is 23 and you were 23 when you got that award, there's a lot of times where you have people looking at you like you're a little, like they're questioning you. They're looking at you and you're like, how old are you? And I know they're thinking it, but they might not say it.
Yeah.
How did you succeed at that young age and then carry into what you're doing now as the sales manager?
Yeah. So, quick funny story. So Vanessa, who works in the office, we used to be partners together in a community, and it was just, I don't know what it was that month. Everybody came in and said, are you a baby? Or like they would make references to my age. Like, oh, you're a baby. And Vanessa would get so angry. she would yell at these people in the office. She just couldn't stand that people like, you're too young to do this, whatever. But that stuff just, it really means nothing. You don't have the experience. You just got to keep going and get the experience. I forget your question.
No, you're good.
What makes a good salesperson?
Yeah. No, but I'm talking about the skills of a salesperson.
Yes.
And doing that at a young age. What was that like? And how were you transitioning to the skills of a sales manager?
Yeah. So I think for being a salesperson, I think it really came more natural to me. Really having the opportunity to meet people, hang out with people. It just felt like I was meeting new people all the time and just having conversations with them and getting to know them. And it really felt easy to me. So I did have, some good success in that, and pretty much just became friends with a lot of the people that I was selling homes to. And it was fun. Getting into sales management, you kind of have a little bit different of a perspective because the people that you are leading, in my case, these were people I was working with. They were my friends. So I kind of had a little bit of, I have to shift a little bit because although they were my friends or my coworkers, we're running a business, and there's going to be some times where they're not doing what needs to be done to get us to that next point.
Yeah.
So it was a real mental shift for me to not really. I mean, you're still friends, but you aren't friends in that sense. There is some sort of aspect to where, I'm going to have to have tough conversations with you about your performance. And a lot of times when you're friends and you don't want to talk about that stuff. It's just like we're having a good time. So it's this mental shift of being friends with everybody to really kind of honing that in and saying, okay, we're on a mission now. We're really doing something.
Come in, lay down the law.
Lay down the law. And I probably say I lay down the law. He's the law layer.
He's the law man.
I love that. Yeah.
Well, don't make Dad come in.
Yeah. It's like
Don't make me call Patrick.
Yeah, it's like
Seriously.
these guys know like when I'm serious. It's like, hey, when I come in, we're gonna have a serious conversation. They're like, oh shoot, like it's time now. This guy's all fun and games until leads are not being called. And but no, that's great, man. That you have that.
Yeah, and it's just I'd say management does not come as natural to me as sales does. It just doesn't. But it's also very intriguing to me, and it seems like such an important role for the people that I'm serving, which is my salespeople. to have a good manager, someone who's learning and wants them to succeed. And that's kind of what I've carried over. But it's an important role, for our team. And I'm growing in it every day. So.
Good. All right. Well, any more questions? I think we're going to...
You said you had your last question.
Yeah. I was going to just... I like these rapid fire questions that I didn't tell Justin about. But just to kind of wrap up real quick, I like to go back to like a time in your guys' life. And we'll make this 60 seconds, right? But if there's a time that you can go back to any age, right, and give yourself one piece of advice, what would that piece of advice be and at what age?
That's a good one.
It's all you. You go first. I have a lot more years to go back on.
It might take him a while to remember.
Seriously.
I'd go actually back pretty young. Probably close to like 11, 12.
Yeah.
And I'd say, don't worry. Don't worry.
Don't worry. I love that.
It'll all be taken care of.
You got nice hair, blue eyes. Don't worry. Man.
I like that.
I think, I'd say don't worry.
Good. Patrick?
Wow. Probably go back, and this is probably in maybe junior high, where a coach said, you've got the ability, just apply yourself. And I think when I was younger, I didn't apply myself. I may have had more skill than I not gave myself credit for. I just didn't apply myself. And that was kind of a mantra. It's like, Higgins, you got it. Just apply yourself. You need to apply yourself. And I didn't. And, later in life, I applied myself. It was like, oh, wow, okay, that works.
Yeah.
So it's like dig in and just, man, got one life to live, give it your all.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a coach tell me one time too. We're terrible. It was 4 weeks of the season. We're 0-4. And it's my second year starting on varsity. I'm a junior at that point. And I was terrible. I don't know why I was so bad. And he just looked at me and he's just like, stop pretending to play the game and actually like play the game. Yeah. Like stop showing off. Like stop like, hey, I'm in varsity 2 years. I'm cool. No, play the game. Yeah. Be in there. And so that's great advice, guys. Yeah. So appreciate you guys being on. Where's the best place to reach you guys if they have questions about Narra Hills and all that good stuff?
Yeah. Call his phone. No, just kidding. Call Patrick.
909.
No, I think, the best thing, come out to our office. Come out, see this place. I think you'll be blown away. See what Landsea does. We're here all the time, so you'll run into us here.
Yeah.
But, we're just excited about this project and future projects coming up. But really, just come out and see us. See our salespeople.
Yeah. We're going to see if off camera they could give us some insight on what's coming. I'm just kidding. But thank you guys so much for being on. Guys, again, if you guys want to talk to these guys about buying a home here, come to us first, and then we'll connect you guys.
Go there. Come here.
And then from there, we'll just love to help you. So again, thank you guys again for taking the time from your busy day to be on and just share some knowledge. There's many, many great takeaways on this show. And I can't wait till maybe a part 2 or something, man.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Well, we appreciate you guys.
Yeah. Great. Great stuff. Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. SoCal Cedeno out.